Hello. Who's here? Come say hi. I know it is end of July. A lot of people is on vacation, so I'm going to wait like maybe 1 minute to see who pops in. Well, then I guess I'm just going to chat a little bit for the people on the replay watching this. I'm not seeing anyone here, so what's going on here? What's going on? I've been trying to keep up with weeds in like trellising cucumbers, trellising tomatoes. I harvested garlic. I need to weigh my garlic, and I also want to share with you guys after I weighed my garlic my progress with the challenge of gardening and homesteading, well, the also known as Shed Wars. So I know I'm a little bit over 100 pounds. I can give you the exact amount. So it's everything but what I harvested this week. And this week I have a lot of cucumbers, a lot of squash, and over 200 cloves of garlic. So right now, excluding all of that, I'm at 130 pounds. Hello, Jotam. How are you? So 130. I am super, super proud of myself. There are things obviously I forgot to weigh, like chamomile I forgot to weigh, like harvesting peas here and there, and I forgot, and the kids. I also harvest some raspberries, some blueberry, like all the, what do you call it? Strawberries, raspberries, and I had something else, currant. So sometimes I would never be able to get to the house. So a lot of stuff wasn't weighed. So yes, I have harvested my garlic, and it was a little bit premature. I probably could have harvested it this week, but I make a test. So it's somewhere in the month of July for us. So average is about mid-month. So the first week of July, I removed like 2-3 cloves here and there, and I check it out. And then second week, I did the same thing. And then, so we're 23rd. So about 10 days ago, I harvested, I think, 20 cloves. They looked amazing. And, I was like, okay, I'm going to let them go a little while. And we've been having a lot of rain, like a really, really heavy rain on and off every couple days, a lot of heat. So I'm having way more pest problems this year and way more like fungi on my tomatoes, blight, and all of that. So I was like, my friend was like, oh, I think me and my friend were talking and we're like, we're going to go check out the garlic. So I was about to harvest 10 heads to like get a good idea of what's going on. And on the first 10 heads, 5 of them are rotten. So I decided I was going to remove everything, and I am so happy I did. So I did not harvest my garlic in the ideal conditions. It has been raining a lot, so the soil was very, very wet. So it is making the curing of the garlic way more challenging for me. So I didn't film it because I was so discouraged of finding cracked garlic heads and rotten garlic heads that I I just ripped everything out, and I estimate that on the 400 and something little cloves I planted, I lost about 15%, 15-20%, which is an average. So they always say to have, let's just say that you planted 100, at least 90 will come out. Between 80 and 90 will come out. So there's always loss. Not everything that you will sow as garlic will pop back up. And like, I do have squirrels that sometimes have fun with my garlic. Like, they move it around. No, it's not good. It's not good. So I have 80 heads of garlic. That is not long storage safe. So I'm letting those cure for about a month, and that means I'm going to process at least 80 heads. And then at that month, after a month of it curing, because it's going to be easier to peel off the little paper, that's when I am going to analyze the 300 something heads left, what I'm going to do with it. So last year I had a lot of lost. So I think that earlier on I will be doing recipes preserving garlic. So I did roasted frozen garlic. I'm going to be doing that again this year. I'm going to be dehydrating a lot, and I think I will be canning some. A friend of mine gave me a canning recipe for garlic, and then I might keep like 100, 150, the best ones for either planting next year and for my recipes and eating fresh. I do not want to lose all my garlic like I did this year. Like this year I went through it, I think in January and February, and I was so mad because of all that work. I lost all of it. It is common to lose some garlic. So it is, if ever you're growing garlic for the first time this year, you will have some lost when you sow, harvest, and then you'll have a little bit of lost also towards the end. So it is important, if you grow a lot of garlic, to have like a kind of a plan of action of how you want to preserve it. So I know I'm going to need it for spaghetti sauce. I know I'm going to need it for salsa, enchilada sauce. There's other recipes that I know that I need garlic. So I'm like gonna go through my canning journal and see what recipes need garlic, and then I'll probably keep like the best for sowing October, November. Can't remember if I sowed October, November this year. And I'm going to keep a couple, and I placed an order with my father on his bulk order because he orders a lot of garlic every year, and by bulk buying, and I'm going to get a better price. I think I'm going to buy between 200 and 300 little cloves so that I have 100 that comes from me, and the rest will come from the store. The goal here is that at one point I will be self-sufficient on garlic, seed-wise, but I'm not there yet. So every year I started with not saving. Hello, bonjour. So I started my first year not saving any seeds. And then the year after, I saved 100 seeds of garlic. So this year, I know that I want to at least get 100 of my cloves sown. And if I can, like, go to 150 and then add year after year, gain more experience. There's things that I'm realizing, like I'm preferring. So this year, I had 3 rows, but one was a 5 feet or 6 feet deep by 15 feet wide, which was like super, super complex to weed, super complex to go get the garlic scape. And I had one row that was 30 inches wide by 15 feet long. I preferred growing garlic in those types of rows. Hello, creative redundancy. with a tray to lay them out for storage. You could check them. Yeah. The problem is I do not have a cool area for them. So I've suggested to my husband, he was preparing to have an office on the first, like on the main floor. We do not have a basement, it's a crawl space. And it's way too humid at the moment. We're having a hard time controlling the temperature there. So I wouldn't want to put either my potatoes there or my garlic or onions or beets or cabbages or anything. So we might convert part of the office into canning supplies, canning jars in garlic, onions, potatoes, storing stuff there, and not heat it as much, like to keep it. It's one of the spaces where we are having a hard time keeping it at 17 degrees Celsius. So if I am able to keep it during the winter above, I can't remember if it's 10 or 15 degrees Celsius, it's going to be like my cold storage. And there's only one window, and I can close the blind there, and I would have like a temporary look-alike storage room for my food. Because definitely I am gonna lack space with my canning jars. Also, I am hoping to add in that room my tomatoes lawn keepers. The Marilyn sent me some lawn keepers. Marilyn from Little Homestead by the Beach sent me lawn keepers tomato seeds, and I think I have 5 plants of lawn keeper type tomatoes. So that means you harvest them green and you put them head down, and I think it's in a cardboard box or on something that looks like cardboard, and you will be able to eat tomato sandwiches in the colder months. So I'm hoping that I can manage to make this thing work, because it's easier than working in a crawl space. Our crawl space is 4.5 feet. My husband's almost 6 feet. So when he works down there, let me just say it very politely, he hates working downstairs. So when I tell him, well, I would like to have shelves downstairs, and it's never a project that like kind of gets on the top of the list. So if I tell him that we will convert the office into a freezer, maybe 1 shelf or 2 shelves, the Costco shelves that I use for my seedlings for food, well, then you'll have no choice. So we're going to be sharing food in an office. So that means if one day I do have an office and I do lives, I'll be able to snack. Yeah, I'm trying to be creative as much as I can. I am only one person doing all of this, and my husband does all the infrastructure. And I can't expect him to work 60 hours a week and then like work 10, 12 hours in one day during the weekend on building so many projects. So my tomatoes are coming also. I have eaten 3 tomatoes. My first one was a striped chocolate. Yeah, my first one was a striped chocolate. Then I had a sun gold, 2 sun golds actually, and then so it's 4, and then a fourth which is sun chocolate. That sun chocolate is a plant that I bought at the local nursery. It's the only tomato plant I bought this year, and sun gold is from seed. My next one I think I will have is prairie. It's Prairie something. West. It's from West Coast Scene. It's called Prairie Fire. Early season, semi-determinate. It looks like a Roma, but it's not a Roma. It's a pointy tomato, and it has like, it's red and it has streaks on it. Yes, Office with Perks. Cool, Annie. I have not had come yet. When you gotta love autocorrect. Since I'm French, I say this often. I'm French, so I have French people texting me, calling me, or emailing me, and then I have my YouTube channel in French that I answer comments in French, and I also have my this YouTube channel so I answer comments in English, and then I have conversation on Messenger in French, in English. So my autocorrect on my phone makes me say so many weird things sometimes. So don't worry. So I think I will definitely be growing Sun Gold. Well, it's one of my favorite tomatoes because it tastes so good. And I think these the striped chocolate also will become a variety that will have like maybe one or two plants of, because it's not a cherry tomato. It's not a slicer tomato. It's like a saladinette. So it, like, I could have one slice, one tomato can make a small tomato sandwich, or like a bacon and tomato, like a BLT. So I don't know. I have to wait in peak of the season to taste it when it's like the best. But Fire Prairie, I'm really looking forward to it because from what I was reading, it was excellent and it was supposed to be shelf stable for longer than regular tomatoes. So that means if I harvest green ones at the end of the season, they might change color and I would be able to keep them for a longer period than regular cherry tomatoes. Are you talking about tomato plants having issues? I am starting to have issues with mine. Early blight. I am very discouraged. So this week, I have to go and heavily prune my tomato plants more than I normally do because early blight is a risk. From what I remember reading about early blight, that means next year I will not be able to plant any family of nightshades in those areas. And like, I have a lot of areas where I have tomatoes. So that would condemn me of not having pepper plants, eggplants, tomatoes in all of those areas. I did say that I wanted to take it slower next year. So I might like switch up my stuff a little bit, might not have as much tomato plants, but like I still need those beds to have nightshades in them. Ooh. I took out Fuse Blossom this year. I probably would be eating a couple of slicers. I have one row of slicers, so that means 11 plants of slicers. And lots of them were having fused blossom. So that means it's more than one tomatoes, and it would make like these big tomatoes, cracked, like uneven maturing of a tomato. And normally I would leave them because I have like over 20-25 slicers, but this year I only have 11. So I was like, I don't want the plant to invest too much on these huge beasts. I want them to produce like tomatoes for a epic tomato sandwich. Like every time I have my first tomato sandwich, I just have to make it just perfect. Like it has to be. Oh, so sorry. I am so sorry. So it has to be perfect. Ripe, salt, bacon, lettuce, homemade bread, mayo. It has to be like amazing. So, are you guys laughing at me? It's been a hard week. My son's been sick. My husband's been sick. I've been like trying to survive with like an adult less and a kid that's like not feeling so good for like almost 2 weeks. I haven't been sleeping because at night that kid was keeping me up almost every single night. So sometimes I have conversations online with some friends and my brain gets like mush very early in the day. So I'm hoping that this week I'm hoping that this week, now that my husband's on vacation, he's gonna get better like really fast. And instead of you laughing with me, you can like rejoice with me being less tired. Although it is July, like usually this is where I go, I might have slightly overcommit. So I've started saying that last week instead of the end of July. I am harvesting between 6 to 10 pounds of beans every 2-3 days. Not counting the 100 pounds of potatoes I got on a deal that I have to process. I have about 30 pounds of that 100 pounds processed. I harvested all my beets. I have to sow all my beets, sow all my carrots. So there's so much to do. So much to do. So my husband can't be sick. I cannot be sick. So, yes, laugh with me. Yeah. And it's not going to get easier on me. So, if I start calculating, I planted everything, I think by the end of May, beginning of June. So I think June 1st. So all the month of June, all the month of July. So that's 60 days. So all of my tomatoes that are 60 days to maturity should start producing the first week of August. And then my slicers will start mid to end of August. And then mid of August, end of August, I'll have all of my paste style tomatoes, and then all through freeze. I will not be able to see tomatoes probably in October. I probably will be saying I am so done seeing tomatoes. I'm not even able to walk my garden every single day. So that means I go outside, feed the animals, run, and I barely have time to do everything that is required of me. So on Mondays, I think I said this on one live, I walk and I take notes of everything that is urgent, that cannot wait. By Friday, sometimes there's things on that list that's still not done because there's like more urgent stuff that just adds back on the list. So I don't know if you guys have this happening to you. Like you make a list, like you feel all organized and you're like, okay, so I'm going to divide to conquer. I'm going to get this done. I have 20 things to do. Let's do this. And then like you do the first one, do the second one, and you're so happy. You scratch it off and you're like, okay, I'm getting things done today. And then you feel so productive. And then you do like 5 to 10 things that day and like you feel awesome. And then 20 thing appears. Magically on your list, 20 more things appear. So not only you're not finished, it just keeps adding and adding and adding. So that's what's currently happening for me. Like I have a list of videos I want to film for you guys, and that list just keeps adding. And I'm trying to get caught up with like the emergencies on the homestead. And I'm not there yet. And this week we're supposed to process our 20 birds. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, 20 things to harvest, yeah. So cold hardy crops are probably finished this week. So that means I'm ripping everything out. Cabbage, no, not cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. I'm ripping everything out and then flipping it and sowing either beets or another round of cold hardy crops, spinach, lettuce, and all that. And then where my garlic was, I have to flip it and sow it again. I think I'm going to be sowing carrots there. And then where my beets was, I'm probably going to flip it again. And I have to go get compost and re-sow beets. I am so happy with my beets this year. I was able to harvest close to 20 pounds. I think so. Like, I'm not done adding everything together, but I think the first time I harvested 13 pounds something. Then the second time, I think a little over 8 pounds. Yeah, so I must be close to 20 pounds of beets. Let me see if I've written it in my file. So, beets. Uh, 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 uh. So I harvested 19 pounds of beets. I would normally buy a bag of 20 pounds. So I'm so happy. I'm 1 week behind. I was supposed to transplant my beet seedlings this week on the 15th, but I have to do this week. Sowing my carrots, same thing. It feels awesome. Like, I was able to store 23 jars of 500 mLs. So let's just say that is one salad of beets every 2 weeks. So that's one side dish every 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that with my fall, I'm going to be able to come up with one beet something every week and maybe have like an overstock so that next year I can maybe just grow beets in the fall or not grow beets at all. What are you guys working on? Like, I'm not having a lot of people joining us, so I guess I'm just going to ask you guys a question this time. So what's happening? So I think Jotam is here from Ecocentric Homestead. In creative redundancy, what's your name again? I organize the endless list by importance first in what gets I do the same. But for a funny reason, like, there's always things happening, like reappearing on it. Like stuff that, oh my god, I forgot to do this. How is this even possible? How is this possible? I forgot to do this. So tell me what's happening on your homestead. Like, we're a small crowd tonight. Let's take advantage of that. So if I have people watching this on replay, I bring this bottle everywhere with me. So I am actually a walking billboard. So I have Tracy with me. I have Remy from Graham's Family Farm, Thorhaven Farm, and Melissa from Little House in the Big Woods. The rest are mine, I think. Yeah, so these two are mine. So this is one of my favorite. I'm fueled by seeds, tomato, and coffee. And then rooting for you. So the beets, if that's what you're talking about. Hello, Patrick. So the beets, I transplanted them the end of April. That's why I was able to harvest them early. What is that? What is a clean garden? I feel like I sit down for I give myself, okay, so I have 20 minutes, I'm going to weed. So I'm going to go outside. I feel amazing. It's not too warm, not too sticky. I work for about half an hour in the garden, 20 minutes, half an hour. I weed a couple of rows, and then it rains for a couple of days, and it feels like I've done nothing. It's like the weeds have a mind of its own this year. How's your garden doing, Patrick? I was supposed to relocate my raspberry patch this year. That didn't work out. Hello, Annie. I'm so tired. I took the leash of the dog, and instead of throwing the leash outside, so it's been a hectic day. Yeah, remember you told me that you were fixing some fences. So I guess you don't need to go to the gym. I also did a couple of stupid things this week. So what else did I do this week? I know that once I took the sugar, put it in the fridge, and then I took the cream, coffee cream, and I put it next to the coffee maker, which is useless. Thank God I realized it before lunch, because then my cream would have not been good anymore. That's what I thought. So I bought myself a new tool this year. It's called. I need what's the name of the tool again? It's not a wheel hoe. It's a weeding tool, and I am now able to control the weeds in the pathways of my garden beds. So last year, I would say control. Some of them I lost control. I probably will pass the weed eater because it's grass instead of flowers or wild strawberries or other stuff. So I pass the weed eater on those. And I'm so happy that at least I can see my rows. But then this year, because it's raining so much, I have overachiever plants that sometimes I don't even see the path. So I have a row of Ropreco paste style tomato, and on one side I have nothing, and then I was supposed to put lettuce, but I decided not to. And then on the other side I have some bush beans. But they're so lush that I no longer have space between the next row and the bush beans. So lesson learned, next year, bush beans will no longer be used as companion planting if I am continuing to do the Académie Patagère way of sowing, because they are exploding. I have so much beans this year, and because of all the rain, and because they're all stuck together, and because the tomatoes are leaning on top, I have this moldy stuff happening, so I'm losing some of my plants. We were supposed to have rain all weekend, but I'm so happy that today we had sunshine, because it's been raining, hot, raining, hot, raining, and then we had one day cold that I woke up to 17 degrees Celsius, which was weird. Like we've been having like odd temperatures, peak temperatures, and then rain. So I I'm sure the garden loves it. So I'm sure the cucumber loves it. I'm sure the melon loves it. I'm sure the peppers love it. What else? The eggplant must love this temperature. What is it right now for us? So sorry. Right now for us, it's 26, feeling 30. Um, but the nights are a little bit cooler, which is fun. That means no air conditioning. So, what are we having for the next couple of days? Um, Rain Monday, rain Tuesday, rain Friday. We're going to be still in high temperatures this week. Well, we are in the peak of the season, so July is always very hot. Um, Natural sauna. Yes, no, I can't drink coffee at this time. Well, technically, I was supposed to have. I normally have coffee like right after lunch. If I have coffee like past 3 o'clock, so sorry. Ugh, I can't sleep. I stay up most of the night. Like the caffeine like keeps me up. So it's tea for me before I go to bed. So since I'm yawning so much, I might cut this live a little bit short. Instead of finishing at 7:30, I might finish around 7. And I know you guys probably want to enjoy this temperature also outside. I would love to be on my deck. I could have an alcohol like coffee with alcohol probably. Like a what do you call those? Irish coffees, or like be on the deck with a little breeze, enjoy like a afternoon or late afternoon snack like I did when I was young and I was in Mexico. We had like a 4 o'clock salsa cheese and Tostitos, or those chips that you eat with salsa. So I would be outside doing that. Yeah, I know. But you see, rain could also be good because that means I was supposed to empty out my poultry freezer because we're harvesting poultry. So I don't know. It didn't happen. So I don't know what I'll do. Like, I hope I'm going to have enough space for the 20 chickens that are going in the freezer. But I did decide to process at least 10. Like, between 7 and 10 will be canned. And then I might have 7 whole. So I'm going to can the breast and freeze the legs this year probably. Legs like are you can put like 3 legs together and stack them, or 2 legs together, stack them in the freezer instead of having like this round um chicken in the freezer, because we might have more meat than like I did like last year. So last year was the first year I was able to trade beef and moose. And this year, I'm hoping I can add beef also to the freezer. Now I'm out of moose. I think I have like 1 package of moose left. And I think I have 1 package of beef left, or not even. And I think I'm down to my last pork. I have like 4 or 5 packages left. I have no more bacon. That's hard. No more bacon. That's very hard. So I have to wait till October to have bacon. I'm looking for options to buy a quarter of a beef. And my husband has officially started his license to go hunting in October. So I'm hoping that he's going to get his license by the first week of August. And then that means in October, he's going to leave for a couple of days and maybe bring a moose home. That would be so fun. Yes, it does. It does. So all the rain that we've been having has helped me actually saving one bag of manure. So every 15 of them, like the 15 and the first, I walk the garden and add fertilizer pellets, chicken pellets that I buy at the store. And like I use like a little cup and I spread it here and there. But because of all the rain we've been having, I was able to save at least one bag. So it's good. It's good. It's good to have rain. I would normally have not enough. Like I would be on my phone tracking the weather network to see when it would rain, and then the cloud would pass in front of us, like maybe like 2-3 drops or tease me showers, and then I would have to water my garden for 2 to 3 hours 3 times a week, getting eaten alive by bugs. So I'm not complaining about the rain this year. Like I don't have to worry because usually I have a couple of water bans during the year. So I will not have to worry about that. Oh, anyone pressure canning potatoes that has ideas for me? Like I am canning them regular. I might try French fries. I will be freezing, what do you call it? Hash brown. So, and I have herbs, potatoes, and chipotle. So if you have fun ways to preserve potatoes, let me know, because I have like 60 pounds left to do. A lot of peeling, lots of peeling. There is a difference between 32 and 32 in humidex. So when it's 26 degrees here, it usually brings the humidex brings it up to like 35. 30, 35. So if it is 32, it bumps it up close to 40. Yes, you should. You should. If you enjoy eating and you plan on joining me every Sunday on live, I will definitely talk about food. I'm sure you're going to like hunting. Well, my husband seems to enjoy the vacation. Yeah. So if he's going to go probably 3 days, 2 nights, or 3 nights, 4 days. I can't remember. But he's never been away from the house that much. So the kids, when we told the kids that he's going to go hunting for moose, they were so excited because they love moose meat. But then he said he was going to sleep out of the house for like at least 2 days. So they weren't happy about that. But my neighbor, which is also going hunting with my husband, she's like, you know what we should do? We should be camping in my living room, and the boys, your boys in this room, you with your daughter in my living room, and we should make it work. Because nighttime is going to be hectic. Like we're going to be solo moms for 2-3 nights, and it's always those nights that the worst stuff happens. It's bean picking time. Yes. So if tonight there's not many bugs, I'm probably going to go be picking beans. But if I don't pick beans tonight, I will probably have to pick beans tomorrow morning. Okay. So you're not supposed to have humidex where you are. You're not supposed to. One of the reasons my husband wants to move, and I'm starting to understand it more and more, is I don't mind 26 degrees. I don't mind the 30. It's the humidex that like puts weight on you and it makes it hard to work. Like when you're working outside, for a long period of time, and it's over 30, and the sun hits your head, and the humidex like crushes you. And I have to work in, like, this year I don't have a tunnel because like the top part of my tunnel is removed. So I doubt that it's like 10 degrees hotter in there. Because last year when it was 30 with humidex here, it was 40 in the tunnel. So I had to work late nights, early morning in the tunnel, and then work my way around. Like I was trying to work in the shade. So I like organized my work day. Like I would start somewhere where the sun is not as direct hitting on me, and then like I would work around. But since I don't have a roof anymore on my tunnel, I'm hoping it's going to be on soon. I kind of neglect my tunnel this year. Like I have to remind myself, oh, I have a tunnel. So this is why I'm starting to understand why. And with all the pest pressure that I'm having this year, zone 3, if I don't think about the snow too much, zone 3 sounds very, very interesting in zone 4. Zone 3, zone 4 sounds really interesting. The only thing that I'm having a hard time with is having snow till June. That's probably like the thing that's like holding me backwards. Unless I have like a DIY 60 feet long tunnel that I can put a hammock in and like feel the sun in that greenhouse when it's like 0 degrees outside and it's like 10-15 degrees inside the tunnel, and I would like not see too much of the snow till like June. I have a hard time with snow because I'm so used to my birthday being t-shirts, shorts, comfortable evenings, like the terrace being open, and like going out. When I was in my younger year, I would go out for my birthday and it was always like super warm, super comfortable. But I'm starting to understand, like, working outside in the humidex is like, it's taking a toll on me this year. So no one has ideas for potatoes. Pat, are you still here? Because I did ask you how your garden was going. I wasn't able to check your Instagram lately. What does this mean, spuds? You've never canned. So I started last year, and I use them for mashed potatoes. So shepherd's pie. So I put them in the saucepan with the liquid, warm them up, drain the liquid, and then smash them. And use them on shepherd's pie. And I'm so sorry, I'm going to talk about food again. And then also I had canned carrots with turnips. So same thing, I would warm up potatoes, carrots, and turnip, drain the liquid, add butter, milk, salt and pepper, parsley, and mash it up. Oh, my bad. So like taters. There's people that calls potatoes taters, I think. Slang. Like I'm trying to find ideas so that I don't have just canned I'm gonna say tomatoes, potatoes on my pantry shelves. There is one thing I want to try this year. I saw French fries, which is not a USDA recommended recipe, but I am going to try it because I'm going to fry them for over, if I can find a little fryer. I think fries is like 20 seconds, at least a minute. So if ever there's anything in there, I doubt it's going to survive. So I'm going to try to do that. And I also want to drain the liquid, pot the potatoes dry, let them air dry, and then do breakfast style herbed potatoes that I would fry in lard, so that I can have eggs with fried potatoes and like bacon. Okay, I'm so sorry. I keep talking about food now. And I just ate. So I'm starting to get hungry. I've never dehydrated it. I do have the Excalibur. So if you dehydrate and powder them, would that be reconstituting them with milk and butter, and it would make like mashed? Is that what it would do? I'm so sorry. Every live you come, I talk about food, and you end up being more starved than when you started. Well, if you can't tell, I love food. Like, I love to cook, bake, try new recipes. I love to try different ways to preserve food, so that I just don't have like one thing. It makes preserving the food a little bit easier on me, because like it becomes like redundant, like I'm doing the exact same thing. So green beans, that's what I'm doing. So I'm harvesting green beans, processing green beans, and then putting the green beans in the can, and then so it's like the same thing. So green beans are not very festive to can, but I did find a new recipe in what do you call it? Balsamic syrup, balsamic glaze, and it sounds like super delicious. So same thing with corn. I found a couple of recipes that I want to try canning corn. So I have like this Mexican corn that has chipotle in it. So I was like thinking of those poke bowls that you put like mango salsa or peach salsa, those Mexican corn, and then like I pressure can. I'm so sorry, I'm talking about food again. I pressure canned chipotle chicken, and you put that there with a little bit of rice, like a sauce in. So I was thinking about that. So that's why I want to do like not just like one way of preserving. Okay, so I would have to check it out, because I'm starting to run out of ideas. That happens to me also with tomatoes, because like I have my classic every year. I have my tomato sauce, my pizza sauce, my dice salsa, barbecue sauce, ketchup. I want to do chipotle barbecue sauce. I want to do enchilada sauce. That's new this year. What else I want to do? I don't do. I will no longer do. What do you call it? Roasted tomato paste, because it's like such a long time to make it. Sloppy Joe sauce. I love sloppy Joe sauce. Zucchini chips. So this is dehydrated, right? So you add like a little bit of salt, and then you dehydrate it. I wanted to do cukes like that. Someone sent me a recipe, because one of the things that I really, really enjoy to eat is chips. It's really hard. So she's like, have you tried dehydrated cukes with sea salt? So I'm like, I should give it a try. You know, it would be great poutine with like crispy potato chips. Well, sorry, crispy potato fries with like homemade gravy, melting cheese. Okay, now I'm officially Spanish starved. Yet got the recipe, just waiting for the harvest now. I don't think I'll be having a lot of zucchinis this year. Vine borers have found my plants, regardless of everything I tried to do this year. So I am trying to throw them a curveball. I'm not doing anything to my summer squash, my winter squash, and my pumpkins. So I'm not inspecting every single day like I used to do 2 to 3 times a day to remove the eggs. I planted summer squash on the 15th of July next to my corn, and I should have a couple of zucchinis from them. Also, I let volunteer squash grow next to the patch of everything I've grown. And they seem to be, the vine borers seem to have killed a volunteer at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see. Randomly eats green onions. Speaking of green onions, have you seen that TikTok video about what's it called? It's they put in a batter and they air fry it, and it's like onion rings but with green onions. I might make it worse. I want to try it actually. I'm waiting for my green onions to be big enough to harvest them to try those green onion rings, if you can call them rings. Yeah, it does sound good. Like I've seen this with garlic scapes. I've seen this with green onions. And I really want to try it. I've tried green beans air fried with batter. There was something missing, so I'm going to try it again. Different recipe. It was good, but there's like something missing. So I'm going to try a different recipe because like it takes 1 pound of green bean, and I'm going to have officially like so many pounds of green bean soup. Sorry. That I will definitely try it again. So there was flour, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, something else, eggs. So that was the batter, and we would air fry it. But I think there was something missing to it. So I'm gonna definitely try that again, and the green onion also in the air fryer. And if it is a success, I'll try to film me and my husband, because it's like a 2-step thing. I prepare the batter, do everything, and he's the one that takes care of the cooking with the air fryer. So I'm going to try to film ourselves if we really found like a good recipe. Well, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I am exhausted. I'm probably going to go to bed. I'm not going to go harvest my green beans tonight. I really thank you for popping in. I thank you for supporting me and chatting with me. And I will see you guys. I'll chat with you guys next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.